There we go. All right. So let's find as comfortable a seat as we can. And as you sit yourself in a way that feels good in your body, take a few moments to shift, move, adjust. And then allow yourself to come to some stillness with soft eyes. Just take a few moments to let your breath grow a little longer, a little deeper. And use your breath to help you identify what's happening for you today in this moment in your body. As you bring your hands to connect at heart center, purposely lift through the ribs, lift through the collarbones. Let your hands come to rest right at heart center. And then tune into your intention for your practice this morning. Identifying your reason for showing up on your mat. On your exhale, bow toward your heart. Honoring this time that you've chosen to spend tuning into your own needs. Then softly letting your eyes open, release your hands down and start to lift up and back through the shoulders, lengthen up through the back of your neck. Take a couple of movements through your head and neck, so you can shake your head no, nod your head yes, take some ear to shoulder. Whatever through the neck and head that would feel good in your body today, you can take those movements. And then let's take our gratitude arms, so elbows hugging in by your sides. Find that rotation of your upper arm bones to expand into the front of the chest, feeling maybe that hug of shoulder blades on your back. Add some movement here through the shoulder blades, so up and down movement. And then as you let your shoulder blades settle onto your back, we're going to reach arms wide and up overhead. And then take a gentle twist over to the left side. So take right hand wherever you need to be able to take the comfortable twist for you. Press down with hands, find more lift through your sides. As you exhale and draw ribs in, maybe you're finding a little bit more twist. And then inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, take that twist across to the right side. And again, make it your twist. So make it as deep or as gentle as your body would like. Press hands down, find more length. Exhale, ribs draw in to help you twist a little bit more if that's there for you today. Inhale, come back to center. And walk your hands forward, coming into just a little distance away from your body. And you can always be with hands up on a prop here if you would like, or fingers on the ground. But then do a little gentle rounding back through your spine, coming into a cat-like pose. And then add some extra movement here. A little movement through your sides, your shoulders, your hips. Then inhale, belly and heart forward, and then work your way back upright to your tall spine. And now we're shifting to the other side if that's there for you today. And if you feel more comfortable staying in the same position, you're welcome to. It's entirely up to you. Then as you bring your hands to your upper thighs, give a little press. Find more lift, more length from hip to armpit. And then we're taking left fingertips to the floor just behind your hip, a little diagonally back. Press down and find more lift through your ribs and your collarbones, maybe taking this into a little bit of a back bend. And then it's your choice. You can reach your right arm, you can keep your hand at your thigh or your hip. Take a big breath. And then inhale, rising back upright. And we'll take right fingertips to the floor, diagonally back from your hip or straight back from your hip, wherever it feels the best. Press down and find more lift through the heart. And then feel free to stretch. Left arm up over the ear, or take your hand to your hip. Sometimes it's nice to take your hand to your head here. You choose. Take a big breath. Then inhale back upright. And then work your fingertips forward once again, but this time we'll come into as deep a fold as your body needs. So again, you can have hands or elbows on a prop. You can have your hands or your elbows on the ground as you work your way forward into that fold. Just identify today where your body needs to be. Take a full big breath and add whatever movement, whatever shifting would be helpful in this moment. And then gently bring yourself back upright and we'll shift onto our hands and knees, finding a tabletop position, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Feel free to add that cushion underneath your knees if that would feel best. Find your rotation of elbow pits forward and push. And then start some swaying with your hips side to side, allowing for maybe that little bit of stretch, or sometimes it feels like a big stretch into the outer hip, the outside edge of your leg. And then the next time your hips come over to the right side, you're going to keep them shifted over to the right and send them a little bit back towards your heels, coming into sort of a sideways variation of your child's pose. How far your hips come back is entirely up to you. And then inhale back to center, shift your hips over to the left, and then back toward your left heel. And again, how far back you go is up to you. Then inhale back upright. And we're going to stretch back with the right leg, turn open with your hip, bend your knee and press your heel toward the left side. Give your foot a flex. And as you push through the heel, lengthen through your quads. Tone your belly, tone through the ribs. And now we're stepping right foot to the outside of your right hand. You can have blocks under hands here if you want, or you can have hands on the ground. But tucking the left toes under, work your left knee further back. Extend your heart further forward. Take a deep breath. And now we're going to come into a wider stance here with our hamstring stretch. So you're going to work your hips back toward your heel and come up high onto your blocks or whatever you're using for a prop. Pull your right toes back. And now think of rotating inner thighs back. And even more so, think of this right inner thigh rotating in, back, and broad. And with that, you might feel like your toes are turning a tiny bit to the left. Sitting bones are up. Extend your heart forward. And now I want you to think of your glute wrapping back and down on that right leg, so much that maybe you see your toes turn a tiny bit to the right. We're going to do both of those one more time. So rotate inner thigh back, sitting bones up, and then wrap the glute down and under. And now bend into your front knee. And we're going to take this variation of side angle pose. So we're turning the back leg. We're turning your toes off to the right side, a pivot on that leg. And then right elbow to your knee, left hand to your hip as you turn your torso to the left. And as you do so, if it's there, bend deeper into your front knee so you have a little bit more dorsiflexion happening. If that's not there for you today, if you're just like, nah, then stay more lifted. Take a big breath. And now bring both hands back down to your props, and you're shifting your leg back and then working both knees back. Before we take the second side, settle hips back toward heels. Take as deep a child's pose as is right for your body right now. And then we're rising up to our hands and knees once again, tabletop position. Find that strong rooting of your palms and fingertips, the rotation of elbow pits forward and push. Now inhale, stretch back with the left leg, turn open with your hip, bend your knee, and you're pushing through the heel to the right side, even as you lengthen through your thigh. Keep some tone with the belly, supporting the low back. Take one more big breath right here. And then you're stepping wide, stepping to the outside of your left hand. Blocks under hands if you want. And you're working your back knee as far back as your body is ready for, coming into this lunging position. As you extend your heart further forward, take a full, big, deep inhale and exhale in and out of your nose. And then keeping that wide position with your leg, we're working our front leg towards straight. Hands are still on the inside, hips back, coming to that hamstring stretch with the wider stance. And then as you rotate inner thighs back, in particular, notice the left leg and find that big rotation to maybe even feel the sitting bone on the left side trying to move out broad. And then wrap the glute down and under until you see your toes maybe turn a little bit to the left. And then inner thighs rotate back. And glute wraps down and under. And now as you bend back into that front knee, you're going to settle back onto, oops, I almost forgot. We're going to take our side angle pose variation here where we turn the right leg. So your toes are coming off the mat. And then we're bending into your front knee as much as your body is ready for. You can take left elbow to your knee, right hand to your hip if that feels okay, or you can always keep your hand down, that's okay too. Take a big breath as you turn open and bend in. And now as you bring your hands back to your props, now we'll settle back onto our hands and knees. And as you settle onto your tabletop position, find that rotation of elbow pits forward and push. Tuck toes, lift hips, downward facing dog pose, and take a big breath. As you take your big breath, sending sitting bones even higher, find that rooting action. Push from your back muscles out through your hands. And then take as many steps forward as you need to take to come forward into your fold. Blocks for hands if you want. Feet can be inner hip distance or wider. Take an inhale and lengthen part way, finding sitting bones lifting. Exhale and fold over your legs, finding that forward fold for yourself. That helps you to feel long. Back of your neck is long, spine is long. And then bring your hands up to your knees. And as you send your sitting bones up, squeeze your glutes. Work your hands up your legs to rise all the way up to stand. And as you come up to stand, find your feet inner hip distance apart and parallel. Once again, reset yourself. Lift and spread your toes and then root them down. Turn your palms and find gratitude with your arms. As you find that gratitude place, feel the working of the shoulder blades and the broadening through the front of the chest. And then tone through the low belly and ribs. Engage through the core. Take a big inhale as you push down through your feet. Lift your heart just a little bit higher. You can stay right here, or if you would like, you can work your hands onto your low back to hug back with the elbows. As you give your knees a little bend and root into the ground once more, rotate inner thighs back and then engage. Low glutes, hug them up, low belly. Take an inhale and expand and open through the chest. As you exhale, push from your hips, from your glutes, down into the ground. Inhale, rise back up and release your arms. Turn your palms so that your palms are facing out, thumbs are rotating back. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, soft through the knees to fold. Inhale, lengthen part way. Sitting bones lift. Exhale and fold. Planting fingertips, step your right foot back into your lunge. Turn and plant your back heel so your foot is parallel to the back of your mat. And now side angle pose variation here. We just did a variation with our knee on the ground. So this time, back leg is lifted. You can always come back to that other variation. But then notice your front knee. Bend into it and open it up. Your front hand can be on a block. It can be elbow at knee, can be fingertips at the ground, but find that turning open of your heart, turning open through your torso to the right. And then feel free to stretch straight up over the ear or bring your hand to the back of your head. As you take a big deep breath and push through the bottom hand, lengthen through the top elbow or hand. Exhaling, both hands come down to the front of your mat. Find blocks under your hands, and we're gonna bump the back foot in. Probably about 6 inches to a foot, and turning your toes toward the front of your mat so that your feet are almost aimed in the same direction. Wrists underneath your shoulders, wrap back with your left hip. Extend your ribs and collarbones forward. And then as you engage through the low belly and the ribs, extend your collarbones even more. From that place, stay with your hands down. If you'd like to, you can tone the core, tone the glutes, and reach the arms straight ahead. You can always do one arm. You can do 2 arms, your choice. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale in and out of the nose. Exhale, both hands come back down to your props. You're bending into your front knee and stepping forward. Next exhale, left foot is stepping back. Turn and plant your left heel. Right hand is wherever you would like it to be, on a block, the floor, elbow to knee, your choice. But bend into your front knee and open it up. Then turn your belly and heart to the left. And once again, you have straight up, over the ear or hand at the back of the head. You decide. Take a big, full, deep inhale and exhale. Find that evenness in and out of the nose. On your exhale, both hands come down to your props. Bump your back foot in, turn your toes considerably forward, and start to work your front leg towards straight. Big toe mound is pushing down, wrap back with your right hip and send sitting bones up as you extend further forward with your heart. You choose, stay right here, or you're welcome to extend arms forward. Full big deep breath. Exhaling, hands come back down if they're lifted, and then bend into your front knee, and we're gonna set both knees on the ground, so settle back onto your hands and knees. Hips back towards your heels, take your child's pose. As you take your child's pose, let your breath be long, slow, and deep. And then gently push yourself up to your seat. And we're coming all the way down to sitting bones, and get your blanket ready. So you're going to take your quarter fold and roll it up. And now we're going to set that aside because we're going to use it in a little bit for our neck. So we're going to come all the way down onto our backs and do a couple more stretches before we get to that neck work. As you lay all the way down, you're letting hips, shoulders, and head rest. Arms in a comfortable position for just a moment to inch your shoulder blades a little closer together. And then take that big breath into your ribs. And notice any sensations that are present in your body right now. And now we're gonna lengthen our right leg toward the ceiling. And so as you do so, if it feels best to keep your left leg knee bent, foot on the ground, you can. Or you can lengthen your left leg all the way out against the ground, your choice. From this place, we're taking right thumb into hip crease and just giving that rotation to the leg so your toes will turn a little bit to the right. So pushing the hip crease forward. And then from that place, a little movement across your body toward the left side. You can use your left hand behind your thigh if you want to, so you have a little bit of feeling of the hamstring that you can do, or you don't have to. Take a big deep breath as you press down through the hip, reach in that diagonal through the heel. And then bend your knee to come back into center. And then you can hug your knee in toward your side or toward your middle, whichever feels best. And take a big exhale to maybe hug in a little bit further. And then set right foot down, lift the left knee in toward your chest, and then extend your leg toward the ceiling. And from there, you can choose what's happening with your right leg. Knee bent or leg straight. Left thumb into your hip crease, give that hip a push. Find that rotation, just that little bit of your toes turning a little bit to the left. And then find that movement across your body toward the right side, just a little bit. Hip is still down on the left side. Reach through your heel. Maybe you're holding the back of your leg, maybe you're not. There's no right or wrong answer there. But take a big deep breath. Then inhale back to center and give your knee a little hug in toward your side or in toward your middle. Use an exhale to compress a little bit more. And then we're setting both feet down. Both knees are lifted, and we're walking feet a little wider than hips to drop knees in together to touch or toward touching. And then reach your arms toward the wall behind you so much that maybe your low back is lifting from that reach. If it doesn't have that lift, that's okay. It can always be pressing into the ground. Take a full, big, deep inhale and exhale into your low back. And now go ahead and grab your roll of blanket and set it underneath your neck. And then as you let your head come to rest, your arms can be out to a T or whatever variation is comfortable for you. And then you're taking your head from side to side, shaking your head no toward the ceiling. Nod your head yes. Turn your head to the right and take a couple of nods. And to the left for a couple of nods. And then as you come back to rest with your head, you can keep the blanket right where it is. You can always move it to set over the top of you or whatever is needed. Start to work your way into a really comfortable rest. Finding your Shavasana. Finding that place where your body is supported. Bring some awareness back to your breath. And bring some gentle movement into your fingers and toes. Feel free to rotate through wrists and ankles. And then as you're ready to, you can bend your knees, roll over to your side. Take a moment on your side to let your breath get a little deeper. Then gently press into the ground with your arms and lift yourself back upright to your seat. With hands coming to connect at heart center, take another moment for a full, long, deep breath. Have a very peaceful, beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks, you too.